Welcome dear learners. This lecture on religion and the world has been developed based on the selected references available. It has been divided into the following subtitles: Introduction, Judaism, Hinduism, Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, Jainism, Baha'i, Sikhism, Zoroastrianism, Confucianism, Shinto and Taoism for the discussion purpose. Shall we now go to the topic? Dear learners, as objectives of this lecture, learners will enable to know various religions around the world, to make a platform to discuss the various views of each religious group. Also to understand the different sects of religion pertaining to different regions. Religion organize themselves, their institutions, practitioners and structures in a variety of fashions. For instance, when Roman Catholic Church emerged, it borrowed many of its organizational principles from the ancient Roman military and turned senators into cardinals. Many of its organizational principles from ancient Roman military and turned senators into cardinals. Sociologists use different terms like ecclesia, denomination and sect to define these types of organizations. Scholars are also aware that these definitions are not static. Most religions transition through different organizational phases. For example, Christianity began as a cult, transformed into a sect, and today exists as an ecclesia. It is indeed useful to know each religious classification with some examples. Polytheism believes in multiple gods. Monotheism believes in a single god. For instance, in Judaism or Islam, atheism refers to no deities. Animism believes in non-human beings, which means animals, plants and the natural world. Totemism identifies through its human natural being connection and beliefs. Dear learners, do you know that every year on 3rd Sunday in January, World Religion Day is celebrated? It will be a wonder to know that there are over 4,000 recognized religions in the world. These religions consist of temples, mosques, churches, congregations, free groups, tribes, cultures and movements. We could list out only the organized practices of the major religions in the world as we find them common at present. World Religion Day provides an opportunity for people of all faiths to come together and celebrate them in a commonalities and spirit of harmony. There is an interesting phenomena expressed by those in religion. Religion plays a key role in all aspects of healthcare. Religions have emerged and developed across the world. Some have been short-lived, while others have persisted and grown. In this lecture, we will explore the world's major religions for the discussion. Judaism is a strictly monotheistic religion practiced by the Jewish people, an ethnic and religious nation descended from the historic peoples of Israel and Judah. Judaism, as it would be recognized today, originated in the Middle East in at least the 500 before Common Era, although certain religious traditions or beliefs can be traced back much further. In fact, according to the Hebrew calendar, the religion began in 3761 BC, which means before Common Era, as the current year is 5782. Its adherents have long faced persecution from the dominant religious groups around them. The Roman Empire destroyed the Second Temple, the center of Judaism, and the nation was scattered. Through the modern day, Jews have been the victims of intense violence and discrimination. At the same, Judaism has persisted and remains one of the most visible and widely practiced religions in the world. The next important segment is Hinduism. Hinduism is by many accounts the oldest religion in the world due to its origins in Vedic beliefs dating as far as back as 1500s BCE. The religion has no founder and is a synthesis of many different Indian religious traditions. The religion waxed and waned in competition with Jainism and Buddhism throughout Indian history before seeing a huge resurgence after the medieval period. Thereafter, it became the dominant religion on the Indian subcontinent. Hinduism is one of the most geographically concentrated of the major world religions in India and Nepal. The sheer number of practitioners, however, makes Hinduism the world's third largest religion. Christianity is a monotheistic religion centered around personage of Jesus of Nazareth or Jesus Christ. Christianity arose in the 30s, 50s of Common Era as a religious offshoot of Judaism based on the teaching of Jesus, who was himself Jews. Early Christianity rejected many of the social, cultural and religious institutions of Judaism and pursued radically different strains of spiritual thought. Within a century, a recognizable church was founded. The texts of the faith and its most important creeds were codified in the 300s Common Era. Despite persecution, Christianity became the state religion of Roman Empire and all of its inheritors. And in the time since, the different Christian denominations have collectively become the largest faith in the world by a wide margin. Buddhism is a religious tradition founded by Gautam Buddha in the early 400s before Common Era, drawing from, which means or opposing, many of the same Vedic tradition that inform Hinduism. Buddhists engaged Hindus and Jains in religious dialogues for centuries, developing mutually competing traditions and beliefs. Buddhism flourished in India, receiving support from several powerful leaders before declining during the medieval period. Buddhism continued to grow and developed in East Asia, having a profound impact on the cultural landscape of the entire region. Buddhism is today the fourth largest religion in the world, being the majority religion in many countries in Southeast Asia and in China. Islam is a strictly monotheistic faith founded by the Prophet Muhammad in the year 607 in the present day Saudi Arabia. His teaching, collected in the Quran, claim common descent with many Jews and Christian beliefs. Muhammad preached monotheism in the city of Mecca despite opposition from local polytheists and quickly built a religious community of early Muslims. The Islamic community was forced to relocate to Medina in 622, after which the group codified and began its expansion across the Arabian Peninsula. Nearly all of Arabia converted to Islam by 632, the year of Muhammad's death, and in the years since, it has grown to become the world's second largest religion, mostly concentrated in the Middle East and Southeast Asia. Jainism is an ancient religious tradition from India. Per its practitioners, Jainism is eternal or at least older than Hinduism, but many historical estimates will place it contemporary with Buddhism as a classical offshoot of the old Vedic tradition. Like Buddhism, Jainism received varying degrees of support or opposition from powerful sponsors and was in constant dialogue with India's other religious traditions. Unlike Buddhism, Jainism did not spread far outside of its home in India. The Jain community enjoys a large profile. However, due to their high literacy rates and the respect Mohandas Gandhi, father of our nation, professed for Jain teaching and beliefs. Baha'i is the youngest major world religion founded in 1863 by the Prophet Baha'u'llah. Baha'i grew out of the earlier religion of Bahabism, whose founder, the Bahab, presaged the coming of another great prophet like Muhammad. Baha'i originated in Iran, although its current center is in Haifa, means in Israel. Baha'i is monotheistic religion, but it teaches that religious truth is manifested and revealed by the founders of all the major world religions, including Jesus Christ and the Buddha. Baha'is believe that the different cultural interpretations of religion all have the same goal and they strive for prosperity across faiths. Sikhism is a younger religion founded in the early 1500s Common Era in Punjab, which means the northern India, by Guru Nanak. Guru Nanak was raised as a Hindu in the Muslim ruled Mughal Empire, but he rejected both dominant faiths and began preaching his own religion. A community formed around him. Over the next 2 centuries, the Sikhs would be led by 9 more gurus. The last living guru named Sikh Holy Book Guru Granth Sahib as his successor, and there has since been no single leader of the Sikh community. Despite being a religious minority, the Sikhs overthrew the Mughals and founded a major empire in northern India in the 800s. By different definitions, Sikhism is either the 5th or 8th largest religion in the world, mostly concentrated in their home region of Punjab. Zoroastrianism is one of the world's oldest monotheistic religions, founded by Persian prophet Zoroaster. It was first recorded in the 500s BCE, but many historians believe it was founded as early as the 900s BCE. Zoroastrianism became the dominant religion of the vast Achaemenid Empire of Persia, and it continued to play an important role in the region until the ascent of Islam in the 700s Common Era. Many credit Zoroastrianism with affecting the development of other major religions. Confucianism, it must be said, is not a religion in a strict sense. It is a philosophy that draws on the folk religion of China. Confucianism as a school of thought was founded by the Chinese philosopher King He, better known as Master King or Kings, during China's spring and autumn periods in the 500s before Common Era. It quickly became the well-known of 100 schools of thought and became the foundation of the later imperial government of China. The Chinese folk religion that Confucianism draws on is still concentrated in China, but its teaching are widespread throughout East Asia. Shinto is the traditional religion of Japan, which incorporates a vast array of local beliefs and customs across the nation. These traditions were collected and described as something like Shinto in the 800s Common Era. Although the different beliefs predate this, Shinto is, for the most part, not an organized religion and is instead the foundation of many cultural practices in Japan. However, up to 80% of Japanese people, even those who proclaim no religious belief, still keep shrines and make Shinto prayers. The intimate cultural quality of Shinto means that it is limited almost entirely to Japan. Taoism is a philosophy and a religion originating in China around the same time as Confucianism and was the primary rival to Confucian thought out of the 100 schools. Taoism claims descent from perhaps the mythical figure Lao's, which literally means old master. Taoism shares some common elements with Chinese folk religion, but the core teachings differ unlike Confucianism. Taoism has been immensely influential on Chinese and East Asian cultures, with Taoist thought influencing everything from literature to medicine to martial arts. Due to the syncretic interactions of Taoism with Chan Buddhism and Confucianism, It is hard to find a large number of Taoists, but Chinese religions collectively are the fifth largest religion in the world. The next important subsegment within this lecture is religion and India. India's massive population is diverse as well as devout. Not only do the most of the time Hindus join and live in India, but it is also home to one of the world's largest Islam populations and to millions of Christians and Buddhists. We as Indians could say that it is important to respect all religions, but major religious groups see little in common and want to live separately. It is also to be noted that Indians see religious tolerance as the central point of who they are as an Asians. Across the major religious groups, most of the people say it is very important to respect all religions to be truly Indian, and tolerance is a religious as well as a civic value. Indians are united in the view that respecting other religions is a very important part of what it means to be member of their own religious community. Hinduism in India is India's largest religion. Hinduism can be difficult to define because it embraces many different traditions and religions. It has, however, had a significant impact on Indian society. Hinduism continues to flourish in India today through Hindu-inspired festivals, artwork and temples. Classical epics like Ramayana and Mahabharata continue to be revived through film and television. Islam in India is widely believed that Islam has significantly contributed to the country's society, culture, architecture and artistry. Islam is the second most followed religion in India. As a result of the practice of Islam in India, there have been many changes as well. Muslims are known in India for their food, their practice of Islam and their generosity to fellow citizens. Sikhism, in its origin in India, it can be described as a monotheistic religion that emphasizes devotion to a formless God and is a monotheistic religion. According to the religion, service, humility and equality are the three pillars of service which encourage their followers to help those who are less fortunate or in need in their lives. It is quite common for Sikhs, for example, to offer food to visitors to Gurdwaras and the primary places of worship for Sikhs. Buddhism in India, as a counter movement to early Hinduism, Buddhism offered a universal ethical code instead of one based on caste. One of the four noble truths of Buddhism states that by practicing the noble eightfold path, one can free themselves from the suffering that underlies death and rebirth. Jainism, the ethical principle of ahimsa, which means non-harm or non-violence, is often practiced by lay Jains in modern India, opposing some early Hindu teachings. In the Jain lay community, vegetarianism and animal welfare are promoted, along with Samaikya and practice that strengthens spiritual discipline. Most Jains practice Samaika in a temple before a monk or at home in Gujarat, Maharashtra and Rajasthan, etc. Christianity in India, there are many different denominations of Christianity in India, but despite Roman Catholicism being the most prominent denomination, there are also localized churches such as Church of South India and Church of North India, whose main focus is on the Christian faith that is present in Indian society. Dear learners, like sum up of the lesson which we had discussed so far, sociological terms for different kinds of religious organizations are in order of decreasing influence in society, denominations, a sect and cult. Religions can be categorized according to what or whom their followers worship. Some of the major and oldest of the world's religions, including Hinduism, Buddhism, Confucianism, Taoism, Jainism, Judaism, Islam and Christianity, have been discussed here. I hope you all enjoyed the session and it may have enriched your knowledge of religion and the world. Dear learners, we will meet on another schedule. Thank you. All the best.